You're listening to the Play Like a Girl podcast, episode number 7. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Play Like a Girl podcast. I'm your host, Nikki B. Here at Play Like a Girl, we aim to encourage more confidence in young women who play sports and give them the necessary tools and advice to have an amazing career in sports and beyond. If you are a young woman who plays sports and lives an active lifestyle, or you know one of these young women, I am so excited you are here. Each week, we will bring you a guest in the sports world or have a roundtable discussion of the many taboo and important topics in the world of female sports. Are you with me? Let's change the game.
You play ball like a girl!
I'm Nikki B with Play Like a Girl, made just for female athletes.
I can be a girl in a man's game, a diamond in the dirt.
All right, Play Like a Girl listeners, today we have a special guest, one of my best friends and business partner, Tisha Alyn Abrea. She calls herself a washed-up tour pro who loves to bring swag and fun to the game of golf. She's definitely more than a washed-up tour pro, as her and I both are encouraging more women to play golf and changing the game with our influence. She gives great advice on her journey from playing high school sports to getting recruited for college, to making the leap to professional sports, to finally making the decision to quit playing competitively and follow a different career path. One thing we talked about is the importance of finding a school that fits your needs more than just the sport. We also talk about the identity crisis most athletes face when they decide to leave their sport and how to know your worth outside of your athletic career. We also talked about working hard versus focusing on branding and social media, as well as the overall lifelong skills you develop as an athlete. At the end, we chat about the vision for our new company for her. She is my PIC, the mocha to my vanilla, so please give a warm welcome to our guest, Tisha. Okay, everyone, I am so excited to introduce to you one of my best friends, my golf friend, my business partner, the mocha to my vanilla, Tisha Alyn Abrea. Thank you, Tish, for coming on to the Play Like a Girl podcast today.
Of course, anything for you, Nick. What is up?
Not much. It's early our time, but it's kind of later your time. But
Sorry.
thank you for it's okay. Thank you for hopping on. I know Tish is actually leaving for France today, so she's got a busy day ahead of her. She's going to be hopping on a 15-hour plane ride to France for the Evian Championship. But she came on the podcast for us today, so thank you for coming on.
Oh, of course.
Okay,
No
so let's dive into how we met.
Okay, let's
yes.
do it.
So
You want me to tell a story?
Yeah, you go ahead and tell a story.
You want me to tell? Okay. So Nick and I met. So I knew of Nick through social at first because we kind of boomed at the same time in terms of social media and stuff. So I knew of you before, and then we all went on that girls' golf trip. We say this story all the time, I swear. It was a group of 9 girls. We were chosen to kind of essentially create a movement and go on this girls' golf trip in Arizona, which is where I met Nikki and a few other girls that we've now grown really, really close to. I'm actually flying with one of the girls right now to France. And during the trip, I mean, it was a really great experience. And Nikki was one of the girls that I essentially clicked with. And funny story, I'll try and make it short, but I injured myself during this trip I was trying to move this like metal slab table over, which wasn't connected to the legs, and as I was setting it down, the table was removed from the legs and slammed down on my fingers and crushed them between the ground and the table. And as I went to cool off my fingers and run underwater, I passed out. Like I literally collapsed to the floor, and Nikki and one of our other close friends, Kenzie, came to save me and
Came to your rescue.
Came to my rescue. Nikki was feeding me oranges or whatever, and I came back to life. It was the wildest thing. And then that is how we met. And then soon after, I happened to be in El Dorado, or I happened to be in NorCal, and I texted Nick, and I was like, hey, how far are you from here? She's like, I'm like 5 minutes. And then came and visited her, and then we had a lot more gigs in the, right after that, and that was just how our friendship began. We just blossomed.
Yes, so our friendship started because I saved Tisha. I am just such a great friend.
Really
saved
did.
her from passing out. We didn't have to call the ambulance. Thank goodness, she was okay. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. So we met on a girls' golfing trip, like you said, and I think we both have such a passion for not just women's golf, but women's sports in general, and just really joining forces and yeah, just helping grow the women's golf space and the women's sports space. But before we dive into all of that, how about you tell our Play Like a Girl listeners, who is Tisha Alyn Abrea?
Okay, so a little about me. So golf has been a huge part of my life. That is essentially what I am and what I do. I began golfing at 3. My dad introduced me to the game, and I went through the whole shebang. I went through junior golf, was a top junior golfer in Illinois from 8 years old to 12 years old, and I played in all the big events and was competing against like Mariah Stackhouse and Lexi Thompson and all that good stuff. Moved to California to pursue golf, and I had family here as well at around 12, 13 years old. Continued the junior golf, went through the high school golf, competed for state and all that. Continued on to collegiate golf. I played for Cal State Fullerton, was #1 my 4 years there, and graduated in 15. And then after that, I went straight professional, and was professional from 15 till now. I'm still considered professional, but I'm now a washed-up pro in my words. But yeah, I won a couple tournaments in my day, and so that's my golfing background. And then luckily, when all the social media kind of pushed and came together, I figured that there was something more to do with that following, and I've always had a huge passion for women's golf. Even outside of me competing, I've always wanted to help others in women's golf and encourage others to get into the game, which is I think why Nikki and I click so well. We both share that passion, and so that is basically my golfing background. And yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny what I found out recently from you. I didn't realize how athletic you were, but I guess you played didn't you play some other sports growing up, even if it was just for fun?
Oh yeah, for fun. But golf was always like my main. I was one of those like crazy Asian parents, like you are a golfer, you only be that, you know? So no, but I was like really into basketball. I was really into track and running. And like would always do like play football and you know, throwing sports. Just growing up, but I couldn't pursue it because golf is, I mean, you know, like to be a golfer, you have to put so much time and energy, but I would still consider myself more on like the musically oriented side or like the artistic side than athletic. I just like enjoy music a lot and dance. Everyone who follows me knows that I'm just a huge dancer.
Yes.
I'm so fortunate that Nick dances with me all the time.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't know how our partnership would work.
There's no way.
There's no way, literally.
Talk about that too, because I remember you told me that you had to decide at one point between golf and dance. So you danced competitively, right, for a little bit. So talk about that decision that you had to make.
So I was a part of a studio from middle school and through high school, and then around junior year of high school is deciding time of year of commitment for college in terms of scholarship and sports and NCAA and everything. And I was so passionate about dancing that it became an issue and it collided with my time in training. And so my parents told me like, well, you have to decide, do you want to be a golfer? Do you want to be a dancer? And so it broke my heart. Obviously I chose golf because I knew that that's what was going to really elevate my career. And I was already ready for a scholarship, and dancing, that was like, I was not going to get anything out of that. It was just literally just a hobby of mine. And so I gave it up. And when I went to college, we would have athlete talent shows. And oh my gosh, Nick, I was like 5, 6, 7. Like I was like, sure my team wasn't going to lose, and we didn't lose. We basically won every year. But
no way.
It was so fun. And that was like my means of creating while being a golfer. And so flash forward to now, I am very fortunate, and it's very weird like what we do as influencers, but I've been able to somehow mesh both dancing and golf, the two things I love, because I thought for the longest time like that's it, dancing is done, like I'm too old to hip hop dance anymore, I can't do that, like I don't have it like I used to. But now I'm still doing it in a very weird way, meshing it with golf. But I'm very fortunate to be able to put both together. But I did put it down, the competitive dancing, in high school.
I love that. You know, it's funny. Our golf team, because we had the talent show too in college, and we never did anything because we were just, I mean, I was the only one that ever wanted to do anything because you know me, I'll get on the dance floor with you, no problem. Like, I do not care. But the other girls, not so much. So I love that you guys won the talent competition every year. Like,
oh my gosh, I have to show
you represent. Yeah, you need to show me YouTube videos. But I love that you represented and you made golf cool. The golf team was cool. Love that. But talk about your, like, how you made that difficult decision, because I know a lot of girls who are in high school, they have to decide between one sport. They probably play like a couple of sports, maybe 2 or 3, and once it comes to college, they have to decide to choose one and just go, down one path. So talk a little bit about that and like your advice to them if they have to make a decision.
Right. I mean, it was tough. I mean, it was completely tough. Especially when you love 2 things at once, it feels like it takes a part of your identity. Even now, me not playing professional golf, it takes away my identity, it feels like. But I think with that, you have to firstly choose really what makes you happy and what's really going to fulfill you. And golf does make me happy and it does fulfill me, but it took me a while to realize that because I had to see golf outside of the competitive world. But I think girls who are making the decision of splitting 2 things that they love is that it doesn't mean that it has to end. Like, you can still find ways to do it. Like, even if you're split, like for me, like golf and dancing, I can still dance for fun. It doesn't mean that it's over, it's dead. Like, no, try and incorporate it into your life, whether it's, even if it's not your main thing, it doesn't have to be it. Like, and also for girls who are struggling with decisions, like, know that whatever you choose, that these titles don't define you as a person. Like, me stripping away the dancing title, it doesn't take away from who I am. Me stripping away the professional golf title, it doesn't take away from who I am at all. So.
Yeah, and I think that's important for girls to realize, like, just because you have to go down one path and choose one sport doesn't mean you still can't have that other thing in your life,
right.
Whether it's a sport or dance or some, theater, whatever it may be. You can still do it on the side and incorporate it somehow. Yeah, don't have to give it up completely. Because let me tell you, Tisha brings swag to golf like nobody else. I feel like we need to give you a title like swaggy golfer or something.
Oh my gosh. New Instagram handle.
New Instagram handle, swag golfer, bringing swag to golf. Oh my goodness. Okay, and so let's talk about too the process of getting a college scholarship, how you went about that, the recruiting process, how that all happened.
Yeah. So I don't even know if you know this, Nick, but I actually I've helped with consulting girls on this. I get DMs all the time, and I'll actually take time out of my day to email these girls and let them know my process. And so any girls who are listening who are looking to go into collegiate sports, whether it be golf or not, but specifically golf because I actually know how that process goes. Firstly, it is a stressful process, but know that you will get through it. For golf, it's crazy that recruiting literally now goes to like freshman year of high school. Like, they will now look back so far and they have people on their roster set for all the years because girls always come and go. And so for girls who are trying to get into it, I strongly suggest if you're trying to compete in collegiate women's golf, then definitely get into be a part of junior golf tournaments leading up into high school. Get into it. By all means, it's not the world's end if you're just getting into it in high school, like if you're just competing freshman to junior year. But know that there's also value to not just your competing, but also who you are as a person. These coaches look at you and your personality, your dynamic, because they need to know that you're a team player. As much as golf is an individual sport, you have got to work with a team. You have got to work with a coach and put your trust in these people, because you're putting 4 to 5 years of your life with these people. You got to be cool with them, and then
it's so true.
Yeah. And also your education. Obviously you want to make your decision based on your future. I was very fortunate to know that I knew I wanted to be in front of camera. I knew I wanted to speak. And so in choosing Cal State Fullerton, I knew that their communications program was key, and it helped me decide and cut off my other decisions also in that process. So as a player trying to go to college and play on the team, be sure to obviously perform well, play well, make sure that you are a personable person, and make sure you have the earlier you have a clear idea of what you want to do in terms of your your major, that will definitely help you. And then just go from there and know that it's not all necessarily performance based, and that you can always improve. Even while in college, you can improve that scholarship, you can improve anything, you could transfer, you could, it's really up to you. So
I think those are such great points, because some of those things are what helped me get my scholarship, because I actually had a conversation with my coach just I think last month, and he told me like he doesn't just look at your scores, he doesn't just look at your grades, he also looks at how what the school means to you. So he told me, like, if there's a girl who tells me, oh, I have family that lives in that area, or, oh, I know so-and-so that goes to, you know, that school. He said that he takes that into consideration because if they have an emotional tie to the school, he's more inclined to choose them and you know, to be on the team. So that's one thing I would say, like having some sort of emotional tie, or if there's, like you said, if there's a program at the school that you want to go to, I think coaches are more inclined because they know you have more of a vested interest in going there. Because I know for me, I was looking at UC Davis, I could have walked on there, but they didn't have any programs that I was interested in at all. So I'm like, I could go to this amazing school, but one, I'd be a walk-on, and two, they don't have any program that I'm remotely interested in. So I think I'd be wasting my time. So for me, when I went to Sacramento State, he knew like, okay, I'm a local girl, like I probably will stay there for the whole time because like I have all my family and friends are there. And he knew that I was like, he knew I'd be the spirit gal on the team, which I totally was. Like, I feel like I was totally just the happy-go-lucky, like, get everyone together. You know, that's just how I am. I just love the whole team camaraderie and team spirit aspect. So, yeah, that's so true. But the one thing that's so different today than when we were being recruited is that girls are getting recruited, like you said, freshman year. But they're even getting recruited, I feel like, kind of technically in, like, middle school, too.
Oh,
like, they're getting looked at. So it's never too early. But with that being said, I like how you said, don't be afraid if you have a late start, because like I started, you know, 12, 13 is when I started playing, and I still got a scholarship. So you just have to kind of rethink and rework where you're looking, because I thought I was going to go off and go far away to school, but it ended up being Sacramento State made the most sense because they had a spot left, they had some scholarship money left. But yeah, I think those are great points for our girls.
Yeah. That's so funny. I didn't know you were thinking about UC Davis. We could have almost been on the same team.
Were you thinking of going to Davis?
That was my last three. UC Davis was my final three. But then it came down to, because I ended up wanting to stay in California, so I was between Fullerton, Long Beach, and Davis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
How
I remember
funny.
emailing them, and I said, I'm so sorry. I think I'm going to put Davis down, and I want to narrow it down between Long Beach and Fullerton. Yeah.
No
and it really came
way.
down to, like, my major. Like, I just knew Cal State Fullerton had an amazing communications program, and like nothing to that team or anything, because they're an amazing team. But also too, like I wanted to have as much play time as possible, and I knew that like they had a fantastic program and coach and team as well. But I didn't want to play 4 and 5. I wanted to play 1 and 2, and so
same thing. They were good back then, but like you said,
they're still good, I think.
Oh, they're so good, but they just don't have a communications major. They do, but it's like agricultural communications, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going to do anything in agriculture. Sorry, UC Davis.
Right.
But it is a fantastic school if you do want to go there.
It is. It's great. It's pretty cool.
That's funny though. I feel like we were just meant to cross paths at some point. And the funny thing is, we played in college together, and we went to some of the same tournaments, but we had no idea. We didn't meet each other until. So it's crazy how the world works.
Crazy how life works.
Yes. So we were just meant to meet each other one day. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about our passion for women's golf and sports.
Let's do it.
So we mentioned how we met. We met at that trip in Scottsdale, Arizona with all of the other girls.
Right.
So do you want to talk about what that was and what that came to be?
Sure. Yeah. So we were brought together, us girls, because we were chosen to basically, it was a girls' trip, but we were kind of chosen to ultimately create a movement, which then became known as Women Would Drive. And we all came up with the name. We kind of all gathered together, and we found that we all had a passion for it. Obviously, me and Nick kind of kept with that passion, and we really like spearheaded that. That's eventually how we led into becoming the faces of Women Would Drive in the future. But yeah, we were just all really passionate about making an impact in golf, and we thought, like, let's use this following to build something better and build a women's golf community of some sort. Like, we're all here together. We're now a community. Let's, like, branch out. And so that's kind of how it all started. And that's how we eventually found that, like, yo, like, you and I, like, we can really do something. And with that, it eventually led to, there was us 9 girls who kind of led and were, like, the main, I guess, ambassadors of Women Would Drive.
The
which
OGs.
Was we were the OGs, yeah. And then eventually, the other girls, the other 7 girls kind of went and did their own thing. They're all killing it in their own realm, whether it be professional golf or a couple of girls have a company, an events company and everything. So that was, I believe, what was that, Nick? Like April of 2016? April or May of 2016. That's when we made Womanwood Drive. We changed the name. And by October, November, me and Nick, we were just like on the phone with each other, like, all the time, and just saying like, we could do so much more, we could do so much more. And then finally we approached the guys who ran the whole thing and said like, listen, this is a women's golf movement. You guys gotta have women in front of it. Like, how about us? Like, we are both so passionate. We think we can move the needle. And then by January 2017, and after the PGA show, me and Nick were able to make a huge hit. Just us 2 girls, and making a move in the women's golf world. And so that's how that started. That's that intro.
As an athlete, you have to work hard, but with your nutrition, you shouldn't have to. Pods Nutrition makes nutrition attainable by revolutionizing the way it's delivered. Pods Nutrition provides 28 grams of high-quality protein and packaged in water-soluble pods made from 100% food-grade ingredients. Its convenience and portability make it super easy to just drop, shake, drink. Make your training worth it with Pods Nutrition by using code PLAG15 at checkout for 15% off at pods.com. That's PODZ.com. Yeah. So, well, before we dive into that, I want to jump back because you mentioned some of the girls were playing professional golf. So talk about, before we dive into Womanwood Drive and our new venture that we have, talk about how you went from playing college golf to professional and then where you're at today. Because I think I do want to talk about that whole transfer or that whole, everything that you went through. And I know you mentioned like identifying yourself as an athlete and now kind of having to identify yourself different, because that's a huge thing for girls once they're done with either high school, college, or professional sports. So run us through that timeline.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, this is such a big topic too, and this is what I'm so excited for in our new venture, because we can help girls with this, because you and I have been through it. And so the process of going from college to pro, I think, is one of the scariest things. And like, Nick, you didn't even consider trying, right?
I didn't consider trying. I knew better. I was like, I am not good enough. I barely travel on my college team. like, let's just go straight into media, okay?
Okay. So I knew, even, from the very beginning, that like, no matter how I did in college, I was like, I am going to go pro. Like, I did not put all this time and effort and, blood, sweat, and tears to not go pro. So actually, my last college golf tournament, Nick, I finished dead last in conference championship. It was so embarrassing. I shot over 90. Any of you guys watching who knows golf, you feel like you want to quit golf if you shoot 90, okay?
Yes.
That is not allowed. Okay, so
side note, I came in dead last in a tournament in Hawaii one year. I think it was my freshman or sophomore year. And I was like, the world is ending. I think it was my freshman year, but then my senior year, I actually did pretty well. So I'm like, redemption. I came back.
Okay. So try.
But it is the worst feeling in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Ending your career.
DFL'd. I DFL'd on my last collegiate appearance. It was it was the most emotional. Excuse me. It was the most emotional. Sorry. It was
getting choked up over here.
I know. And so I still decided to go pro after that, and that was a really hard comeback coming from last place. But the process of that, and I know that every girl, because I've had so many girls approach me about this, the normal thought of every girl coming out of college trying to go pro is, what do I do from here? Where do I go? How do I get sponsorships? What do I do to get people's attention? Where do I go next? What tour do I go on? And so, in brief, I'll just give these girls like some advice, I guess. So firstly, the way I did it was, I knew immediately. So firstly, I knew I was going to go pro. Like, there was no chance that was going to change. And then right after that, I immediately got to working at a golf course, and I went to a private club, because I know that at a private club, obviously, like, the members are there a lot more homey. And I knew that, when you're in a private club, private clubs like to help players that play for them. And so I started working at a private club while in college, knowing I was going to go pro. I was prepping myself for the tour. I was already saving my college money and college scholarship to go on tour. Like, I was already set. And so I can get the struggle if some girls are just like graduating and they're like, okay, now I want to do it. I was already planning. So that's what was even crazier. And so the way I went was, I got in a private club. I went to a private club where I knew that there wasn't going to be many female golfers. I became the top golfer there. I worked it with all the members. I became best friends with everybody. And it was a grind, Nick. Like being outside services, I was cleaning the cart. I was making sure I was getting all these heavy bags for all the members, cleaning the cart barn, and like taking out the trash and picking the range.
Was this a place when you would clean the cart and then everything, all the water would funnel to that hole in the ground, and then you would have to the sewage you would have to clean, and then she would have to literally vacuum out the sewage from the hole in the ground. This was Tisha's job. It's not glamorous, okay? Professional life is not glamorous.
No, it's not. Me, like this little tiny Asian girl, is cleaning out a sewage system of the golf course, okay? And then I would pick the range, and I kid you not, whenever I was in the picker, everyone loved to hit me. And it sounds like a bomb, okay? It was like, I can have like PTSD from how loud the shots were from getting hit. Like it was, I'd get hit from like 200 yards out, and it was like, the world was ending.
For those of you who don't know, when you're on a driving range, you're in this like it's a caged golf cart, but golfers love to, they think of the golf cart as a target, and they kind of like disassociate the fact that there's someone in the golf cart, in the picker, like picking up the golf balls. So they'll use the golf cart as a target, and they'll just hit golf balls right into the cage. And so I could only imagine, it's like you're going to war when you're in the picker. It was
literally like a war zone. And then no one knew that one of my doors was broken for the entire year. So every time I'd make a turn facing the people hitting me, I would have to hold the door shut as I'm driving by, and they're all laughing, and I'm over here like crying, like I'm gonna really get hurt. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was such a safety hazard. Anyway, so that
about making you a stronger person.
Exactly, totally. And so, but that whole grind helped me get really close to the members, and eventually the members make a difference at every golf course, and they started telling the pro shop like, hey, we want her to start competing, like stop giving her so many hours. And so I started to work less, train more, and they essentially got me off the ground my 2015-2016 year, and they put money in a pot for me to go out there. And so that is how I strongly recommend girls who are trying to go pro to do. Like, I know that we live in a world that is huge on social media. Nick and I are big on social media, obviously, and I was very, very fortunate to grow my social media during a time where it was in the beginning of my professional career, where it really helped me. Like, I got gear, I got clubs, and I got all that from social. But I think a lot of these girls coming out of college feel a lot of pressure to build their social media in order to be noticed and everything. And by all means, we are for that, because social media is a great way to expose yourself to not just what's around you, but to the world, right? But I strongly suggest that if you really want to be a professional golfer and you really want to get out there and you're not in it for the looks, the popularity, whatever it is, put your head down, train, get close to a club, find private sponsors, because social media is not going to uphold you. Like, your performance and your appearance, yes, will help you, but get a backing first before building your marketing deck and go from there, because that was one of the hardest transitions for me. So now looking at my career in hindsight, it was only a couple of years in, really, but I was a much better player when I wasn't so heavily into the social. But I was never in social for bad reasons or bad intentions. My intentions have always been to grow the game and never to use it like, oh, look at me kind of thing. But my career was best when I was funded and solid by an outside source. And so that was my 2015-2016 year. I was supported by my golf club. In 2017, I survived on all my earnings. I was one of the top mini tour players. I won 2 events in 2016, Cactus Tour and NWGA Tour. Finished top 5 in every open tournament that I played. I was on the positive side in terms of making money on the mini tour, and it's really hard, you guys. Like, it is so hard. Entry fees, for you guys who don't know, entry fees are between $400 to $800. First place for an average women's golf event is $2,000 to $5,000. If you see a tournament winning at around $9,000 to $10,000, that's a really good event. Even on Symetra Tour, earnings or first place finishes around $15,000 average. You don't make anything. You really lose a lot of money,
because you have to factor in travel. You have to factor in practice rounds, caddy, everything. Food.
Yeah, it's rough. It's so rough. And so for me to be on the plus side in terms of earning money my whole 2016 and also having savings led me to my 2017 career. But then I got really engulfed with social, and I loved it. I got, you know, my clubs and everything taken care of through there. But then I then became, we slowly started taking over Womanwood Drive together. And that's when I started to feel a divide in my personal, like, you know, what do I want to do kind of thing? Where is my passion? And through that time period, I was able to find that, like, I love golf. I love competing in golf. But when I put my head down and just train and stick to myself, I'm not making a difference in anyone but myself. And I want to really impact other women in golf by helping them through their experiences and encouraging more girls to get into the game. And I'm not going to do that being a professional golfer. And so towards the end of 2017, and Nick went through this process with me and would ask me all the time, like, do you know what you want to do? And that was a really difficult time for me. I found that, like, my passion was not in it when it came to competing. Like, this is going to sound very bad on my part, but it was when I found that I loved it in competing when I succeeded. I loved the attention I got. I loved the love I received. I loved all of that, but that's never the reason why you should compete. So for anyone who's trying to go into pro golf, you must love it. You gotta love the grind. You gotta love doing it for yourself. You gotta enjoy the process. Like, I love competing because of the people I met, but I also love the accolades that came with it. And I knew when I said that to myself that that wasn't right. And so when I put that down and I thought, I know that I have a knack for media, I know that I can influence people for the better, that's when I wanted to go full throttle in terms of Womanwood Drive. And it was a hard process. Like, I literally, like, not many people knew this, but, like, I cried over and over and over again because it's like, oh my gosh, I've been competing for 15 years. What am I? Who am I if I'm not a pro golfer? I don't want to take pro golfer out of my bio. Like, I mean, I'm nothing now. And it took a lot of just, like, accepting myself and knowing that I'm worth more than just being a pro golfer to know that that title doesn't define me, and only that. And also, I don't even need to take away that title because I've earned money on tour and I don't intend on reverting back my status. But now I would just want people to know that, like, there is more value for myself and me than just being a pro golfer. And to all the pro golfers out there, there is more value. You do not have to define yourself as only a pro golfer. Actually, if you show people that you can do other things outside of pro golf, you will be of more value. You know? And so that was essentially my whole process. And I swear, like, if any girls have need any advice from Nick or myself in terms of going from college to pro and how to go about that, and possibly from pro to moving outward and onward to media stuff, please reach out to us because we know that firsthand how difficult it is. Like, I went through all the emotions.
Tish and I, for any of you, even if it's not golf, like, if you want to reach out to Tish and I, like, via DM on Instagram, like, we are more than happy to just, like, lend some advice or just, like, lend an ear to girls who are going through that. Because I know you said you help girls with the college process, and I have too. I've had some girls reach out to me. If anyone ever reaches out, like, you know, with questions about anything regarding golf or just recruiting process, or, like you said, going from playing sports and then not, and trying to figure out that identity crisis and that what's next. Yeah, we're more than happy. But I'm happy you brought that up because I think your story can help other girls with what they're going through, because it's hard as athletes. We identify ourselves as athletes, and then once we realize that we're ready to move on from it, I think we're excited, but at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, like, I've identified myself as a golfer or a basketball player or a soccer player for almost my whole life, and now it's like, now what? What am I? But I think it's important for girls to know you are not defined just by your sport, even if it's the only thing you've done for, you know, your entire life. If you haven't had any other hobbies or activities that you've done or played, you are not. Your worth is defined more than just your sport, right?
And people and these girls too don't realize, like I've had a few girlfriends who are, like, really big in basketball and they went overseas and they tried to do it, and now they come back, they don't know what they're worth, and I'm like, and they're like, now I feel so behind in life, and I'm like, gosh, no, you don't know how much value you are being a professional athlete. Like, do you know that your work ethic compared to an average person just going straight into the business communications field is like off the charts? Right. If you are a professional athlete, you know discipline, you know hard work, you know training more than anyone else, and if you put that effort into your business or whatever communications, whatever you want to do, moving on, that is humongous. Like, 100%. I get it. It's hard. It's so hard to make that transition, but you just have to know. You have to know your worth. Like, know that when you're a professional athlete coming into transferring into normal life or whatever you want to call it, you are worth much, because all the things that you've learned as a professional athlete can be inputted into a normal job.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you and I were lucky. We still had jobs, you know, throughout high school and college. So we did get that experience outside of our sport. But if you don't have that, you need to know that your sport has given you so many great skills. Like you said, you know, time management, you know, discipline, you know, hard work, you know, you have so many skills. So if you're like done with playing college sports or professional sports and you're like, oh crap, all I have is my sport, you need to realize that you have so many skills, and you need to take like think about, okay, well, what did I do in my practices? What did I do in my games? Like, what skills have I learned? Teamwork, that's a huge one. So I think a lot of times too, athletes have a benefit over people that didn't play sports because people know that they're a team player, and people know that they, you know, will put their head down and work hard versus other people who haven't had that team experience before. So
completely agree. And I think also too, like these girls, like when they come out and they just don't know what they're doing, like they also realize, like, yes, you learn work ethic and everything as an athlete, but you also you're an amazing communicator as an athlete. You are constantly interacting with fans, with people, with your team. You have to have communication being an athlete. And so know that that is also a huge quality in the workforce. Work ethic and communication will get you so far, and just accept that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you can get some sort of job, you know, just a part-time job in your sport, it can be, like you said, at a golf course, or maybe like at some sort of club or some sort of fitness center or whatever it may be. I would recommend that, just so you have that extra little experience. But if you can't, just know that you have so many skill sets that you've learned through your sport.
Yeah, you're not starting from scratch.
No, not at all.
You're ahead of the game. Yeah,
definitely.
Totally. Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into Woman with Drive. I know we talked about that a little bit. So I know we left off where we talked about we started working with Woman with Drive. We kind of became the faces of Woman with Drive. But now let's talk about our new venture and what we're doing now.
Oh, how exciting. Oh my gosh, we literally you guys, we just launched like a few days ago, and it has been insane, the love that we have received. Yes. And so, leading up into now that time frame, so Nick and I, we were very fortunate to be faces of this company, and we made amazing relationships and amazing connections along the way, and everyone has been extremely supportive of us in that endeavor. And now Nick and I have decided to pursue our own company, our own venture, just between her and I, and it is called For Her, FORE in all caps, lowercase her, and the 4 stands for fearless, optimistic, resilient, and empowered. And that is exactly what her and I stand for. Now, we are so excited about it, and it is unfortunate that we had to step away, but we just no longer saw eye to eye with the other partners in that company. And I truly feel like, with the passion and love that we have for the game between Nick and I, that we can move miles, like just between us. And so I think it's been an emotional roller coaster, but this has been such an exciting process for us, because now it's almost like sky is the limit. And like, as Woman with Drive, it was mainly a social media marketing company, and we had to really sit down and ask ourselves, like, if our motto was to encourage women to get into the game on and off the golf course and connect, we didn't really even feel like we were doing that as much. Like, we kept saying it, but were we doing it? And so, and in hindsight, I don't feel like we really were. Like, we were to a little extent, but not to what we really are capable of. And so that is our goal now with this new company, is to literally inspire and connect these women on and off the golf course, use golf as a business tool. And we have so many cool things coming, you guys. Like, we are so excited about 2019 and the plans that we have. And so that's basically a bit of our new endeavor.
And I think the one thing, probably both of our biggest pieces of advice to our listeners is, if you're not fully invested in what you're doing, if you don't fully believe in what you're doing, whether it's with your sport or with the company that you work for, you need to take a stand for yourself and leave. And it's a very hard decision, because like you said, we built these relationships, and it gave us the platform that we have today, and we are so internally grateful for it. But there comes a point where, if you're not seeing eye to eye, if your visions for the company aren't matching up, it's time to take a step back and, walk away. So I think for any of those girls out there, if you know in your heart something isn't right for you, it's okay to leave, right? It's okay to, go your separate ways and do something different. So that's what we're doing. We're so excited about For Her, and we named it For Her for that reason. Like, this is for her. This is for the woman. This is for the female athletes out there, just for the women that want to play golf. And we're so excited for it. So For Her is going to be, basically, we're going to start out with a 7-day challenge. That's our plan. So it's going to be a free 7-day challenge. So women who have never played golf before and want to learn how to golf, we're going to give them a free 7-day challenge to learn how to play. And then it's going to be membership based. So we're really excited about that. And the membership, it's just a one-time fee. It's a lifelong one-time fee, lifetime fee. And you, get a membership. You get exclusive content from me and Tish. Learning how to play golf. We're going to go over everything related to golf, not just how to swing a golf club, course management, but also fitness and everything related to golf. And so we're really excited for that. Of course, we're going to have free content that we'll have on our Instagram and our website, but the membership is going to be awesome because you'll have discounts to our events, and we're planning some events for 2019. You'll have discounts on our swag. It'll kind of be like a VIP type of thing. And there'll be ways to connect actually with women. Hopefully on our website. We're trying to figure out how we're going to connect them, but it's going to be really, really exciting. Do you want to talk about a high-level overview of our events that we're planning for next year?
So for our events, so during Womenwood Drive, we tried to host meetups and such, and it was successful, but they were a lot smaller scale, and so we found that Nick and I have found a passion for these kind of events that we're planning in 2019, and so what we have planned is, I don't even know what to call it. We're hosting.
Well, we'll just say we're going to be hosting at least 2 big events next year.
Yes, we have, and they're much bigger.
Yes.
Should I say kind of what they are?
Probably not. Maybe we should.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
okay.
Keep an element of surprise. I'm not sure we can talk about it yet, but it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be a type of networking event. I guess we can probably give them that much. And then the other one is going to be some sort of a golf tournament. Can I say that?
Yeah.
All right.
It will put professional and amateur golfers alike.
And one's going to be West Coast and one's going to be East Coast. So we'll be able to hit both. Yes. We're hoping to do more in 2019 than just those 2, but we're starting out. We have 2 in the works right now, and we're hoping that they're going to be successful enough that we can do a couple more. So we are very, very excited for them. And we might be able to get some big names at both of them too. So that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, yes. I know. So excited. So yes, we have events coming. We have a membership coming. What else? We have online courses coming. Where we have a lot of things in the works.
Gonna have some swag, which I'm excited about. Gonna rock some For Her hats.
yeah, super excited for the swag, and then we'll continue with our social media marketing and pushing through social and just changing the way that we deliver our social media plans. So Womenwood Drive was essentially just love for women's page, sharing.
A reposting,
It was a repost page, and so now we're really excited that we have a lot of plans to have a lot of original content, a lot of things that are really solely or pushed towards women's golf, that will encourage women to get into the game and educate women to get into the game. And so it's just a whole restructure, and we are so excited. It's been a crazy past few days. We have been absolutely restless, but we are so excited because we know that this will make a difference this time. I mean, we'll actually be really pursuing our motto.
Yep, we literally, as we're recording this, we launched this literally a couple days ago,
I'm sorry.
All good. We launched this literally 3 days ago, and the feedback has been amazing, and actually when this podcast launches, when this podcast airs, Tisha will be just coming back from France. She's going to the Evian Championship. Like we said, she's hopping on her flight later today. And so she's going to do some, social takeovers there and meet with all the LPGA players. So I'm excited for you to talk to them about For Her. And I know you're going to do great. Yes. We went last year. Unfortunately, I'm not going this year. I can't. I have personal obligations that I have to stay home for. But I think it's going to be gonna be a good time for you and Amanda.
That'll be a good intro trip. And then where are you going, Nick, after I come back from France?
Oh, I can't say yet.
You can't?
Uh-uh.
We'll talk
but
about that
maybe by the time this podcast comes out, I'll be able to say it. But so they'll have an idea. But yeah, so we're really excited about For Her. I mean, we kind of soft launched it, but we'll be like big launching it soon. We're hoping for like end of October, early November.
Yeah. And so for anyone listening right now, so until then, we are just hoping to get more women to sign up on our website. So if you haven't already, be sure to check it out. We have a partner that has been amazing in this process who helped us build an amazing website. So shout out to Christy.
Christy, we love you.
You are our savior. We love you so much.
She's the best.
So all ladies, please sign up so that you'll get a head start on what's coming up soon, and just keep posted on social. We'll be slowly kind of easing in what's happening and doing takeovers and posting cute stuff. And so stay tuned until end of October, November, and it'll be like.
I mean, for those of you ladies who are listening that don't golf, if you're interested in having another hobby, like another just casual hobby that you can go and do with either your boyfriend or your dad or even your mom or whoever, like
your girlfriend,
definitely whoever. Definitely sign up because it's going to be fun. You'll learn how to golf. We'll help you. We'll teach you.
We will teach you. We are going to help you along that way so you're comfortable and ready to go out there on your own.
Yes. Well, thank you, Tish, for coming on. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug instead of For Her?
No, I mean, I feel like we covered everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you where can everyone find you?
So you guys can follow me on my personal Instagram at Tisha Alyn. It's TishaAlyn.
Also, it's not Tisha Alyn.
It's not Tisha Alyn. All right. Okay, so can I just give that quick backstory in case anyone cares and is following? Okay, so you guys, listen, Linda. Okay, so
Linda, listen.
Linda. Okay, my full first name is Tisha Alyn. Space. I don't know why Filipinos do this, but they like to give their kids two names, like Angela Grace. I am Tisha Alyn, and so that is what my screen name is. Alyn is not my last name. My last name is Abrea. But I like to go by, my close friends call me Alyn. My brand name is Alyn because phonetically spelled is all-in. That's where I have my poker chips and all that. That's like my branding scheme, whatever. And so, but you guys can just all call me Tish. Not Trish, Tish.
Yeah, and not Trish, not Tisha Alyn. It's Tisha Alyn.
Tisha. There you go. And that's it. So you guys can give me a follow at Tisha Alyn, and also give our new company page a follow at forher.co.
Yes, and if you want to follow if you want to learn not just golf but also dance moves, maybe we should have should have a section of For Her and just like Tisha's dancing, like learn how to dance with Tisha Alyn. Oh my gosh, like learn how to dance on the golf course with Tisha Alyn.
Oh yeah.
But if you want to learn not just how to swing a golf club, but also if you want to learn how to dance, you definitely need to go follow Tisha's page.
Oh my gosh, thanks. I mean, for any of you guys who are just thinking about getting into golf, or you just are like, maybe it's crossed your mind, definitely not just give myself a follow, but give Nikki a follow as well, because one of the things that I feel that we do really well is not only we stay true to ourselves, like we really are who we are on our social, to in person, like how you see us right now.
We keep
it
real.
But also like OG. We keep it real, but then also too, like what we always do very well, I think, is show how fun golf can be through our experiences. So if you're ever questioning it, give us a follow. Maybe we could change your mind. And then when you're ready, give our company a follow. And then when you're ready, sign up on our website.
Yes.
Just like that.
Just like that. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So to finish off, Tish, what does playing like a girl mean to you?
Ooh, playing like a girl. What does that mean to me? Wow, that's a good question. You didn't even prep me for this one.
I didn't prep you at all. I actually didn't even write any like questions because I know you. Usually for every guest, I like have a list of questions I'm gonna ask them. I do research on them, but I was like, nah, we got this.
You know me. Playing like a girl means to me, I think. Well, when I think of girl, first of all, and like I think of us and everything, I think playing like a girl is just like just like literally living life and being a total badass and crushing it and like being empowered and inspiring to everyone and everyone around us. And not, it doesn't even mean like, oh, you play like a girl. Like, no, we are more than that. Like, playing like a girl is a privilege. Like, boys, you should want to play like a girl. Okay,
Yeah.
So that is how I see it.
I love it. Boys, learn how to play like a girl. That's right. Love it. Well, thanks, Tish, for coming on today. And yes, please give Tisha a follow and give forher.co a follow on Instagram. We'll be launching very soon, and we're excited for everyone to see what we have in store.
Yay!
Thanks, Ladies, I'm so excited you got to meet one of my best friends and business partner, Tisha Alyn Abrea. We are both so passionate about women in sports, and I hope her advice helps you in your athletic career. It would mean the world to us if you gave For Her a follow and signed up to know when we launch our 7-day challenge. Make sure you share this episode with a friend who you think will enjoy this podcast. I'd love to hear your feedback and thoughts on this episode, so head to iTunes to leave a review. You can also send any questions or topics you'd like us to cover by sending us a DM on Instagram at PlayLikeAGirlMP. We want to know what you want to hear. Before you go, screenshot this episode and tag us at PlayLikeAGirlMP so we know you're listening alongside us. Thank you so much for listening to episode 7 of Play Like a Girl. We hope you come back for more. Once again, I'm Nikki B, and remember to never stop playing like a girl.
You play ball like a girl!
Diamond in the dirt.